The record breaker we're looking at here is EX181, which ran on the Bonneville Salt Flats. The first time it ran with Sterling Moss, and the second time with Phil Hill. And with Phil, he set the absolute fastest speed ever with an MG of over 259 miles an hour. The car has a twin-cam MGA engine in it, and one brake, as I recall, and very cramped in, and ran on for miles after they set the speed records with it. Very streamlined, called the Roaring Raindrop often. It was designed by Sid Enever, and was a few years ago was restored by apprentices at the works. I would say probably in about 1976 or 7. They cleaned it all up, got it ready to go, and they decided to take it out on an airfield right near Abingdon here, and when they were testing it, it got out of control and suffered quite a bit of damage. They subsequently repaired it, sent it over to the States for a tour of the States. We were very fortunate in the New England MGT Register to have it at our meeting at Cooperstown, where everybody got a chance to have a look at this historic MG. Now belongs to British Heritage, and they show it at meetings such as this, and have it on display at Syon Park, which is their collection near London.
This is one of the EX182 prototype MGAs, built in 1955. Handmade. They made 4 of these, and the idea was to enter Le Mans race and to finish the race, to show the public that these cars were reliable, because this was going to be the new MG car on the market. These cars are made, of course they were handmade, aluminum body, magnesium wheels, and these cars were clocked on Le Mans the stretch, 3-mile stretch, at 117 miles an hour. Dick Jacobs was one of the drivers in these. He had a very bad accident. The car was a total wreck. He survived. That year there was a terrible race, an accident, as you know, 1955. A Mercedes burst into the crowd and killed 80 people. Of course, 3 of these finished the race, and they got the go-ahead sign from Austin to do these cars, and they did very well. Sid Enever designed these cars, and he told me if you take the wings off an MGA, they look just like one of the record breakers. And he told me, another thing he told me, if you want these cars to really move along, you must take the windscreen off.
This is MG EX186, designed to race at Le Mans, but that never happened. It's the only one that was built. It's an MGA base, twin cam powered, has a DD-on independent rear suspension. It's all aluminum body. Factory built, yes, factory, yes, absolutely factory. We bought it without engine, without transmission. And there were some other pieces that weren't there. We've had to fabricate a few things. We found the original transmission, it's in the car. We built up a twin cam for it, which is now in the car, Weber powered, which was the way it was originally with Weber. We built the exhaust system, it's tubes all the way through. It's just a wonderful car to work on because the engineering, the craftsmanship, it's a beautiful piece.
This car was the 114th MG built, so it's very early in the history of MG TDs. It was purchased in 1950 by Johnny von Neumann. He then proceeded to make it into a race car. Emil Diet built the aluminum body for it, and Competition Motors prepared the engine and the chassis. He raced it. The very first race out with it was at the Pebble Beach races in 1950, and it took first place. Then went on to Palm Springs, where it took first place again. And then it won at the Carroll Speedway in 51. It won at the Sandberg Hill Climb in 1951, and went on to win 7 of the next 14 races it was in. This car had a particular interest to me because I grew up on the Monterey Peninsula, and I watched the first Pebble Beach road race, and I saw this car win then. And so having it back, on the Monterey Peninsula and owning it and enjoying it was really a very personal triumph for me. Well, in the early days, the MG was inexpensive, and it had a tremendous amount of potential. You only had 56 horsepower in the original car, and with really pretty crude tools, but a lot of time and a lot of patience, you could build that horsepower up to 100 horsepower out of that tiny little 1250 or 1500 cc engine, and it was the kind of thing that somebody could actually do, and so you could be very, very successful. And they didn't weigh a lot. This car, for instance, they did a tremendous amount of weight reduction in it.